The attack we all anticipated never came. The once invincible empire had begun to fracture. The small rebellion had become bold. And with a decisive victory at the Battle of Endor, the Emperor's reign of terror came to an end.
You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon?
Should I have?
It's a ship that made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs.
Hey everyone, and welcome to
Kessel Run Weekly.
My name is Danny,
I'm Heather.
and today we have our old friend, our special guest, McKenna, has joined us. Hi, McKenna.
Hi.
Hey, so she's coming on a very special episode. If you guys remember way back when, she joined us for, I think it was like our second interview, something like that, really early on. Where we were talking about her cosplay and just Star Wars in general, and it was awesome. And we've been wanting to have her back for so long, and what better time than the Rebels series finale?
Ahsoka lives.
Yes, Ahsoka lives. So I'm very excited to have you back on for sure, and definitely excited to talk some Rebels with you because I hear that you got to see it earlier than all of us normal people.
I did. I got super lucky twice in a row, so it was an experience.
If we're ever in a thunderstorm, I'm standing next to you. But
yeah, lightning strikes twice.
There you go. But yeah, so I mean, first off, I guess I want to get first impressions of the episode. I definitely loved it, but McKenna, did you want to start us off with some first impressions? Just what you thought of the finale?
Oh yeah, it was a lot to process, especially in the vicinity I saw it. It was just like totally overwhelming, and I felt like as soon as it was over, I needed to watch it again because I was still processing so much. It was unexpected, I think. It's funny because the people I was actually carpooling with up to the viewing, I was jokingly talking about the Purgles and space whales, and then they showed up. Because I was like, they were going to do a troop at this like parade for the whales or something the next day, and I was like, you guys need to build a giant space whale and then have Ezra ride it, and they thought I was ridiculous. And so after the episode, I was like, I done told you guys, you need to build a space whale.
I bet they're on it now.
Yeah, they're like, no one's going to remember the Purgles. That was like forever ago, and I'm like we're sitting there watching it, and I just turned to him like,
see, I have on my notes, Filoni, no filler episodes.
Yeah, everything means something, I guess. So I really liked it, though. It was nice to see how Filoni would close the series now that he was actually given the chance instead of leaving Clone Wars as it was. I solved a lot of questions, and that's exactly what he wants, I'm sure. So I'm excited to see what's coming next. But I thought it was good. I liked it. I laughed. I cried. I just sat there like, so, you know.
Oh, absolutely. What about you, Heather?
Okay, so I have two reactions. I have mine, and then I have my kids. And I usually wouldn't add my kids, except it was just so epic. Okay, so mine was pretty much yours. I sat there and I was like, wow, that is awesome. You know, I was in awe, and what a way to go out. And I really liked it. My kid, he's 12, and he was like, no, yes. Is he gone? No, yes. What? Oh my gosh. And then at the end, he was like, oh my gosh, that is just too much to process.
I agree.
I was like, it's true. It was just a lot to process. But
it really was,
hear him run through the house, you know, all enthusiastic. Alex, you missed it. That was just so much to process. I don't know what to say.
He left through an experience.
He did. And it was an experience watching him. He was more animated than you at a movie.
I'll take him on. No, I'm just playing.
That is saying something, because Danny.
You didn't get to see me when I saw Ahsoka come back and when she came back in the finale, though. I almost jumped out of my seat both times, but Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, personally, like I'm with you that it was so much to process. Now I know there was a couple people who had DM'd us like before I got to see it, and I was like, oh, hold on, because I thought they were going to start unleashing spoilers. I was like, I have not seen it yet. Stop now.
I actually
But they were
logged
like, no,
on
it's
to
amazing.
Instagram right before the season finale. And
Ooh,
I
you
like,
live dangerously.
I was like, no! So I didn't.
No, apparently it was spoiled for quite a lot of people who were very upset about it. I mean, as far as like, I was getting different messages and stuff like that about how amazing it was, and they were already tearing up and stuff like that. Personally, like, at first, like, I wasn't tearing up. Like, I was in it. I was like, okay, this is exciting, but like, I didn't really get like emotional with it till like the end, where you got to see where everybody ended up and everything. And it was just like, man, because it was just, it was insane. It was
My
really
first thought
cool to
was
see.
Price is losing it.
Yeah,
She is
Price is
losing
definitely
her
losing
mind.
it.
That look on her face.
I think the music
Yeah,
of these last, like, what is it, it's been 6-ish episodes have been really amazing, too. So that's what usually will get me is the music. Like, as soon as it started when Kaden was rushing towards the fire, and I'm like, oh, he's a goner. I can tell by the music. Or just, like, the ending, like I said when I was talking to you before we started recording, the crescendo as Sabine turns around, I was like, it's Ahsoka. Like, you don't even have to show me who it is. Like, I already know who it is.
Right, exactly.
And they've been really good about using themes from Clone Wars and just, like, remixing them a little bit and bringing them back in. So that's why with the news that John Williams is probably retiring after, 9? That I would be being a music nerd, like, he's, John Williams. But
absolutely,
I would be okay if they pass off that to either Kevin Kleiner, I think is how you say. He was actually supposed to be at the screening, but he was sick. I was really sad.
Oh.
So I would ask for an autograph. Who does Clone Wars and Rebels. Or, I'm going to butcher his name, maybe Michael Giansho, who did Rogue One.
Giacchino. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew I was going to butcher it. I'm awful with names. But both of those scores have been amazing, so it'll be interesting to see where it goes. I'll be sad to see John Williams go, but, like, he's been doing this for 40 years and doing it spectacularly, so, maybe he wants to rest.
Oh, definitely. No, I love the scores in all of these episodes. I'm right there with you. It's been some of the best music in an animated series or Star Wars in general. I've been really loving. I don't. It's not really Kanan's theme, but it's like anytime the wolves showed up. I don't want to like sing it, but like I'm sure it's kind of like the strange. It's kind of the strange Force theme that they've kind of added to it and everything. I love that because it's like at first
really whenever Ahsoka, they're like really good at those musical clues. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's just it hits the emotions rather than just trying to be something on screen, and that's what I really liked about that for sure. It added a lot of heart to the episode, I think. For definitely sure. ripped mine out a couple times. So, but you guys want to go ahead and get right into the episode?
Ooh, yeah, let's do this.
Sweet, cool. So first off, Heather, I want to kind of talk about what you were messaging me about when you first started watching it with Ryder. Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
yes.
He messages Price, and I could have swore it was a trick. I was like, nah, it's a trick. It's fine. Totally a trick.
And then you believed it, didn't you?
So I waited, and I waited, and then people got hurt, and people died, and I was like, dude, that's messed up. I was like, that's too far. And then I was like, okay. So I was getting mad at him because I by this time, when people died, I kind of figured it was true. And at the very moment, I messaged
especially
him
when he ignored Rook.
Look, I'm getting mad now because I thought it was a trick. Oh, it's a trick.
I had that moment too, I won't lie, because I was like, surely it's a trick. Like, this is like textbook trick. And then people started dying, and I was like, oh, Maybe he was a jerk, and then I was like, oh no, of course it was a trick. I mean,
Right. I knew it all
and I was
along.
like, but like people died for this trick, man. But I guess that's what you
But
signed
I
up
mean,
for.
people died more.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm right there
Stargate.
with you. I was watching it with my wife.
It's not star paintball.
Star paintballs. I was watching it with my wife, and she was actually just like that. Like, are you kidding me? He's really turning them in. He's doing this. I was like, no, it's part of the plan. It's part of the plan. And then, like, I was holding to that. She goes, are you sure? Are you really sure? And at the time that he looks over at Rook and doesn't do anything and just lets him go by, I was like, well, hold on. Maybe I'm wrong.
See, that was the
But at that
moment
point,
when
I
I
was
was
like,
like, dude.
And they like had that little nod. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
cool.
I was like, that's not okay at all. So yeah, no, he had me fooled too. But I mean, I was impressed with how they did the story with that too. Because I mean, like I said, I didn't see it coming, to be honest. Like I was like, oh, I totally know this, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, do I? Like,
Yeah, what do I know?
apparently, I don't know everything about it. Yeah,
Because Imperial
But
Blood
it
is
turned out to be a trick.
harsh. So, I mean, I
Yeah.
guess I can see, somebody turning, but...
Yeah. And Ryder's been frustrated this entire season, too. With all this stuff where he's like, no, we shouldn't do this. And they're like, your opinion doesn't matter.
And it's going to work. Don't worry about it.
And we've seen crazier betrayals like with Krell in Clone Wars. So I was like, maybe he is like just totally going off the rails. We've seen it done. So
we have, yeah. But yeah, so that was definitely awesome. So Ryder deserves a Academy Award or something for all that. So yeah.
For real.
But yeah. So Price blowing stuff up again though, that's becoming a thing. Or was becoming a thing.
Yeah, she should stop doing that.
Seems to be working out for her.
Until the last one.
Don't you think it's funny though that she got after so many
I almost thought she would leave with them. And I kind of like that she was so stubborn because I feel like, I don't know if I thought maybe just, and this is odd that I would think this, but because she was a woman, I was like, maybe she will leave with them. And she's like, no, I served till the end, and she stayed, and I was like, oh.
I thought it was funny that she thought it would be easier to be burned to death than to be torn apart by a wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, both options are not very good.
Yeah.
Maybe she was hoping the dome would be quicker.
I don't think it is. I mean, burning to death is pretty severe.
Yeah, that's Kanan. Yeah.
Well, see, and I thought it was going to be kind of more of like a survivor kind of thing for her because she's always been that one who's like, wherever I can make it out of this, that's where I'm going. Yeah. And so when he was like, hey, just come with us, and she's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, sure, let me come.
Yeah, that's
like full massage and just like miraculously live through everything. It's like, how come you always have a getaway ship ready to go?
Right. Well, and even still on that, like, I mean, she was dead either way. Like, if she went with them, okay, maybe she had a little bit more of a chance. But if she would have survived and stayed with the Empire, she would have been executed. I mean, there was no way out of that would have favored her on any ground. So yeah.
She wanted to go out with a bang.
I like it.
See what you did there. I liked
Hondo. You've been saving that one.
I liked that Hondo.
Oh yes, Hondo
had such a heart. He's a jerk, but he really would do anything for Ezra.
I liked that line, but it made me think back to like when Ahsoka was around that age and how awful he treated her. And I was like, okay, so like, what's the deal, man?
People grow.
Yeah, I guess he matured and started to care.
And he
His
saw
heart was
him.
no longer two sizes too small.
I also liked the line where Ezra was something. Is still something you could believe in. He found something that he could believe in again. So, because in a Imperial world, can you imagine losing everything you believe in and becoming a pirate? I'd like to see his origin thing.
Hondo would be an interesting one.
The Hondo
for sure.
I doubt he was ever like rescuing
A Star Wars
puppies,
story.
but
Yeah, next anthology done.
There you go. That's the one they're waiting to reveal. But yeah. But no, Hondo was great in this. I love that the Ognaut came back. I don't even know his name, but it was priceless.
Melch?
It was awesome.
Something like that.
Melch?
Something like Belch.
I loved all the antics with him. Like, and I feel like it almost kind of made what would have been pretty dark episodes a little lighter too. So I mean, I'm sure that was a lot of the reason why he was there. But even down to the part where
Revenge of the Sith with like a flying pig man. Just to lighten the mood.
That would be amazing. Yes, right.
He goes in to slaughter the younglings, and then there's like.
It reminded me of the screaming monkey guy in Rogue One, who's on like the Gatling gun and just having like the best time. I was like, oh, like this is reminding me of that.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's like this small little creature with like way too much destructive power, having a blast.
It's like, who gave this guy that thing? Yeah. Absolutely. I want to talk kind of moving forward. So, was I the only one that freaked out with the wolf pack?
Oh no!
I liked the reference to the wolf pack. Are you talking about like the clones or the actual wolf pack?
Yeah. Well, no. That whole scene right there. So no, the whole scene right there where they were talking about the wolves, where Gregor looks and he's like, "Hey, look, the wolves! We got the wolf pack back together." Yeah.
I can confirm I was sitting across the aisle from the California wolf pack and they lost it.
Oh, I'm sure.
They were trying like, oh, that wolf's Comet and this wolf is me and blah blah blah. Like, they loved it.
I love that we found one more thing that Stormtrooper armor cannot live up to.
Oh yeah, I mean, is there one thing it can?
Nerf guns.
Unless you're Phasma, yeah.
I don't know. You've seen my video of my Nerf guns.
It hit, but
that is true.
It's
pretty. Yeah. I should have shot lower again.
Yeah.
2 shots below the belt, he would have been out.
To the same spot.
That seemed to be pretty effective. Oh my goodness. But yeah, no, the whole, well, and for one, I was wondering like how long it was going to be before one like ripped somebody apart. Like I felt like we were watching almost like Jurassic Park with wolves, and I was like, holy crap, because like they were really.
If you listen though, you can kind of hear it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You just don't see it, but you can hear them go.
We just kept that off camera.
I wish I could have I wish I could share what it sounded like in the theater, like surround sound aspect, because like it was intense. It was really intense.
That's
so I was
awesome.
like, oh, I'm kind of scared of wolves now. At least giant ones.
Let's make them into
they were, yeah. Right. I'm waiting for the Loth Wolf plush or something. Like it's got to be around the corner.
Yes. I need plushies of like all the creatures.
Yeah. Did you end up getting the Convor?
No, the Lost Stuff one.
Okay.
I have seen those around. I've heard different stories about how you got those. I heard one that was in the Lucafilm store, which if I had known that, I would have made a beeline to it when I was there. But I also heard that it was a gift for like VIPs at that screening.
Okay.
Because I've seen certain people have them, and I'm like, oh well, they're very important people, and I am not yet, sadly. So, but
one day.
Actually, months ago, I had commissioned a friend of mine back home in North Carolina to make me a Convor, and the little, was it the Tuca, the loft cat that comes with her doll that will eventually come out, maybe. So I have those on the way, and then of course, like after these episodes air, I messaged him. I'm like, "Yo, I'm gonna need that Convor like really soon." So I'll post lots of pictures when I get it because it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna have like posable wings and everything. Like I'm super excited.
Cool.
So because that was my theory for the longest time. So like jumping back like a week, like I was so happy to have that confirmed that Mortis was back and in the way that we all kind of thought or hoped for.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it almost kind of felt like, I mean, with Filoni starting that, how could it be any other way? Like, obviously, it had to come back. Because that was one of his bigger kind of mythologies in Clone Wars.
Yeah, I guess that was a big thing that George wanted to do, but he never did. And so a lot of that came from Lucas himself. And that was actually the question I asked Filoni at the first screening. I had a little selfish plug in there because I was like, almost a year ago we were at Celebration and I was dressed as Mortis Ahsoka and we met briefly and he was like, oh yeah, I remember that. Like, he was super excited and I was like, you remember me? Oh my gosh. And I was like, okay, keep asking. And so I asked him basically, like, since that was almost a year ago and he said my costume was relevant then, and I was like, what do you mean? So I was like, so how long has the idea of bringing Mortis back been in the plot development? And he was basically like, since about that time, so a year and then some, and then he was basically saying that he had this like pool of story content that he could pull from to use, and he was like, it just made sense to bring Mortis back. So
that's awesome.
I am very happy I went with that costume because now it makes so much more sense. And I thought I was just being cool and different, but yeah, no, it was so
it's
cool.
Like you got a sixth sense for these things.
Of course.
There you go. That's what's so strong with you, Snips.
Yeah. Filoni, you will make a buddy cop movie of Sabine and Ahsoka's adventures. Like,
yes.
It only works on the weak-minded, though. He's not weak-minded.
That's true. We'll figure out a way.
Oh, we'll make it happen. And also Siege of Mandalore. Like, just throw it out there.
Siege of Mandalore would be. I mean, it would be awesome just as a short or something. Like, give us something on it. Like, that would be really cool. But no, I was really excited that all of that came back for sure. Obviously, all of us have been wishing for that. So, I mean, I think it's amazing that it finally did come full circle and everything. Now, I know we didn't get really to talk about World Between Worlds and don't want to dive too much into it in the finale episode right here. But I wanted to know what you thought, if you think that that's going to come back up later.
I was talking about this with someone today, I think. They were saying, like, how it creates, like, this huge plot hole and now, like, anything goes and blah, blah, blah. But I was kind of curious because, they only were able to access this place through the temple, which is now gone.
Right.
And Sidious only did it by doing, I think, some sort of, like, Sith spell or, like, it looked almost like Night Sisters spells type thing.
Right, yeah.
But even he couldn't go into it because he needed Ezra, as we saw in the finale, to kind of be that anchor to get him in because I think Dave touched on this in the Rebels Recon episode too. It's like he was able to get a hand in World Between Worlds, but he couldn't fully cross over without that connection with Ezra.
Right.
And so, like, when Ahsoka cut the tie he had, he was thrown back. So I don't know if this is just like big gaping plot hole that they're able to just be like, oh, hey, I want to go change this. Let me just open this door and go to time portal. So it'll be interesting to see if they find a way to bring it back. But I think they did a good job of kind of closing that plot point as we see now. Because even Ezra destroyed the little one that he had managed to save in the finale.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I
maybe
feel
Yoda hangs out there.
As far as like Ahsoka goes, I mean, she lived out the same existence that she did in the finale of that episode. I mean, she walked through the temple. She was hurt, I mean, it always happened that way.
Yep.
So that's one thing I liked about this particular time travel is that Ezra always saved her. It wasn't changing anything. It just happened that way because that's how it happened, He
was super excited about that too. He brought up, and I don't remember which session it was, but that he was really excited because he could do that and then not give us any further information on what happened to her because we're left exactly where we were like a year ago. And we're like, thanks, man. Thanks.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
So to add on what you were saying, Heather, like I agree with you on that because I mean, it kind of makes me wonder though if she had died, are we actually seeing an alternate timeline right now for Star Wars? Like, has the original trilogy been an alternate timeline? What has she changed and things like that? So I don't know.
Don't see an alternate timeline because that's how it happened. There is no alternate timeline. You went along the timeline. Yeah. He went back, snatch, chunk. and she went back to the exact same point. No
It's
alternative.
kind of like the perfect situation where, like, saving her doesn't really change anyone else's fate other than her own.
Mhm.
But, like, when he went to go try to save Kanan, if he saved Kanan, then everyone else
Mhm.
would have died.
Right.
So it's kind of
But then
like,
there's the part of, though, with her in the Ahsoka novel, like what she was doing the whole time was she was running her own mercy missions and things like that before Bail got a hold of her and brought her in. So the things that she could have influenced outside of, I mean, basically on her borrowed time, I mean, we don't know what things that she changed the course of time for by existing. So if she had died in that moment instead of,
a trilogy.
yeah. So basically, what we're seeing is something. I don't know. It's the way the conspiracy theory that I've been kind of working on. But yeah, I mean, like in all honesty, like it kind of makes me feel like if she had died at that moment, then what is it that she influenced on her borrowed time that we don't know about? That actually showed us the course of the rebellion winning and things like that. So that's something to, I don't know.
I'm hoping we get some of those gaps filled in at some point, but we shall see.
Oh, that would be cool. That would be awesome.
I
know.
I'm trying to think back. All the episodes are blurring together. Like, another comment by Filoni in that whole time travel thing is in that scene where someone edited the season 2 and season 4 fight together.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, when I watched it, it seemed clear that Ahsoka saved Vader by plunging her sabers into the ground. And the way it was shot, it looked like, you know, it's showing the cracks go from her to Vader, and then he falls through and lives. So I've been teasing on my Vader friends, like, you know, you're welcome for saving your life. And they're like, you didn't save my life. And I'm like, kind of did. And then at the finale screening, Filoni was talking about how he'll hear, like, fan stuff and theories and all this, and he brought it up. He's like, I've heard fans talk about how Ahsoka saved Vader in that fight. And he's like, personally, I'll admit, I didn't see it that way, but I totally get that, and I find it very interesting. And I was like,
there you go.
Who'd you hear from? But it's cool how these episodes in particular, people are interpreting them so differently, but also the same. Because, you know, the end game is still the same, but also we don't know what the end game is because we still have so many questions. Filoni.
Right. Well, and that's what I really like about all of this is, like, even though he closed off a lot, there's still so much that could happen. We don't know really where it's going, other than we see the beginnings of new stories, which is unexpected for an ending of a whole series. So I think that's really cool. But yeah,
like, what happens to Jason Syndulla?
Well, I mean,
right, there you go.
I totally just saw it as a precursor to the next series that he's gonna bring out, and it's gonna be after the originals, obviously, because they went through, you know, and totally makes sense to me. It's the end of this series, but it's the beginning of another.
Well,
no, definitely.
I have a mortgage, so I'm definitely not done.
That's awesome.
He's still doing stuff.
Yeah, and definitely. But I just personally, I didn't expect to see, I guess, almost kind of the beginnings of that new story. Because I know, Heather, you and I talked a lot, and I mean, in all honesty, I was under the impression that the only one that made it out alive was Hera. Hera and Chopper, that was it.
I have on here minimal rebel deaths, but exorbitant Imperial deaths. Because we didn't get very many rebel deaths, but then the Imperials they sent hundreds or thousands of people into a dome and then just blew them up. But they're stormtroopers.
Cannon fodder. But yeah, no, definitely. But no, McKenna, you mentioned Gregor. I was heartbroken on that. Now, I don't personally remember. Yeah, I don't remember Gregor a lot in the Clone Wars series. Personally,
I can tell you why. He's in the episodes with the droids in that little what's the Admiral Frogman.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
Droid heavy in the town that they end up at, they find Gregor, and he had amnesia, and then he ends up saving them, but in that explosion, so everyone thinks he's dead. But he showed up in Rebels, and you're like, oh, you lived, but you went crazy. So, I mean, cool.
Well, that's why I don't remember him, because that was one of my least favorite episodes. So,
yeah, because he was the commando.
Gascon. Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yes.
I thought it was cool that he
Gascon.
got to die
that
for
was the guy's
something
name.
he chose.
His whole, like, first when he got shot and then, like, kept throwing people, I was like, I forgot how awesome clone troopers were. And then, like, his dying speech, I was like, especially because it was to Rex, and, you know, they hadn't served together normally, but now they got to do it for a cause they believed in. I was like, oh, no, I'm going to cry. Not again.
So. Of course again.
Yeah. I like that we got to see what happened with Rex, finally. Confirmed.
Yes. Confirmed Endor, yes.
Where's Wolf?
That's true. So... We don't know what happened to Wolf. Yeah. Because, at the very end, we didn't get anything about Wolf, so that would be interesting to see. I wonder if he just kind of goes off on his own thing, or if maybe he's in the same company with Rex. So I don't know.
I assume he'd stick with Rex. But, you know, maybe he was on another team on Endor. We just didn't see him.
That's true.
So.
That's true. But I love that finally confirmed it, that he was on the Battle of Endor and everything. It's like, yes, finally.
The theater went nuts.
I think it would be funny though if he was on the battle. He was in the Battle of Endor, but he was a different old guy with the same outfit and the same. No, not him. That guy over there off camera.
Not him. He's still Nikolai.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I was excited to know that all of them survived to Endor. Like they all made it through Return of the Jedi, and I was impressed. Because, like I said, I was firmly believing that there weren't going to be any of them surviving.
They were going to rogue on it.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And then you have one left to tell the story. Yeah.
He did kind of comment on that too, because he was like, I don't know why everyone wanted everyone to die. He's like, I don't know what people say, but I'm usually a happy guy. He was like, I wanted a bunch of them to live, and he's like, I wasn't gonna kill them off like some evil. And he was like, I know you all think I'm evil, but I'm not that evil.
I'm kind of a dark person.
I expected more to die than what did, I guess.
Definitely.
But
no, definitely. I agree with that.
So, like, what are you going to do with them?
Right. So what did you guys think about their endings? I guess, well, actually, before we get to that, I want to talk about Thrawn. Thrawn and his little prophecy and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I was like, because people were getting mad. Because that's the thing I was afraid of seeing it Friday. I was like, people are going to lose it when they find out Thrawn was taken out by a space whale. I'm like, that's not how the Thrawn fanboys are going to want this to go.
And He's got a book.
He lives. In Rebels Recon that they released, Filoni confirms that Ezra and Thrawn live. So he's alive, but he was just momentarily taken out by a space whale.
Just thrown off to the unknown regions.
Yeah, but like Bendu's prophecy, what is it? Like, I see your defeat, like cold arms and like a deadly embrace or something. I don't know. But I was like, whoa, like I totally forgot about that, but now it makes sense because like lots of space whale arms. They're kind of space squids too now that I think about it. I don't know.
Yeah, more space squid than whale.
Yeah. But I was not expecting that. When they started talking about the frequency 0, I was like, I wonder if this is going where I think it's going.
I clicked with the Purgils on that, and I was like,
because I was thinking back, I'm like, what could sense like frequencies like that? And I was like, is he calling in some sort of creature or something? And then here comes the space whales.
I did the same thing, because as soon as they said frequency 0, I was like, that sounds familiar. Like, I was looking at my wife, and I was like, that's something that's familiar. And I was important. Like, oh my god, it's the whales. It's the whales.
The whales.
I wonder if the destruction of really Lothal City he felt that, you know, that would save more people by destroying all these people. Because, you know, like in the book, he's anti-slaughter for no reason.
Oh, Thrawn?
So.
my take on that is that he's kind of becoming unhinged as well, because at that point it kind of felt like he was kind of grasping at straws, trying to make something happen. When then he had defeat, like he was done, and it was. I guess we got to see what a defeated Thrawn looks like in that scenario.
I didn't see him as
But as far as like the minimal,
but
really,
yeah, I just saw.
I mean,
him
it
as,
definitely didn't go his
showed
way.
His hands, like you showed your hands, I'll show you mine.
Yeah.
Lay him down. Let's see.
But yeah, I mean,
got.
I don't know. Like, I feel like the Thrawn that we get in Rebels is far away from the one that we actually get in the book.
That's it's a little
because he's not concerned with casualties.
Yeah, I thought
he's not concerned with casualties at all or anything like that.
He wants to save the culture and the art.
That's pretty much it.
But not the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys will be remembered, but not today.
I was talking with someone today, and we kind of like stumbled across a good point. Is like by that time, like it's almost the eve of Luke Skywalker, and Scarif is probably about to happen too. So it's like they keep getting beat here, here, and here. At this point, the Emperor knows that not only Ezra is alive and well, but Ahsoka is still alive and well, and could cause problems. And then they find Luke, and it's just like I told this guy who is another Vader costumer. He was like, "Can you imagine how stressed out they must have been?" It's like, and they find out about Ben Kenobi. It's like he's alive, she's alive, he's alive. What? Like, do something because we are losing our grip on everything. And I think they just like panicked and then just like bomb everything.
Exactly, and that's what it feels like going into the original trilogy and everything. I mean, like it, especially with the first Death Star. It's okay. Let's destroy Alderaan. Let's destroy the peacekeeping planet
Even
for no reason other than just
the
to do
hallway
it.
scene. Vader's like, nope, you're all just gonna die.
Yeah. At this point, it's just kind of like, you know what, guys? I don't even care anymore. We're just gonna do it.
I think they would all
That's
just
exactly what it felt like.
Kill everything. So I think that was like the first big crack, and then Luke shows up, and they're like, "Are you kidding me?"
Well, and on top of that, with the Emperor losing his grasp on the temple, being able to get into that world between worlds when Ezra just destroys it right in front of him.
What did you guys think of him appearing as Palpatine at first?
I thought it was
awesome.
Like gaslighting Ezra. It's like, well, you're the one who did it. I mean, what you want to do?
Yeah.
What am
I thought it was really, really cool, but it creeped me out so much.
When he would switch back and forth as the temple was falling, I was like, that's nightmare fuel actually, because that's creepy.
Exactly.
Like him going down that little hallway, I was like, danger, danger.
Exactly. Yes.
I want to know.
I thought that was a really cool scene though too.
Oh yeah, for sure. I thought he was gonna do it for a second. I was like, Ezra. Like, remember your plan. You had a plan. You're not following the plan.
Having to say goodbye so many times and being confronted with opportunities that seem so welcoming, and you could just make things better for yourself, even for a minute, and then having to say, no, I'm just gonna not.
I think what finally did is knowing that, like, if he took it, then all the people who had died to get to that point would have been meaningless, and then, like, even if the parents themselves died for the cause, so he's like, let me just undo all of their sacrifices.
Exactly. I mean, I get it, but I can't imagine being that young and being that,
Yeah, Robo Emma, actually, we talked about too, she liked the fact that they made Ezra actually cry. And she's like, I love that they made a young male character, feel and get upset and cry, on camera.
I like it
on
too.
Screen.
I think it's funny that men are not allowed to cry. Don't you cry. Men don't cry. And then when they're adults, they're like, I wish my man would be more sensitive. They would understand.
I missed that memo altogether then.
It's like,
I missed that memo altogether because I surely have been shedding tears these last few episodes.
well,
so.
I mean, but I mean, a lot of people,
I say, watch the Star Wars show from the premiere. I think they used so many shots of grown men crying after the first episode.
Oh yeah.
I know the two guys sitting next to me. They're like, "Sorry guys, but you all were crying. I know you were."
But I mean, it's not new for Star Wars because they made Anakin cry in Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
For sure.
You see him just completely
he was
crumbling.
At his breaking point.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yep.
So from the Emperor, so Ezra, I do want to talk about him because I know you and I, Heather, from when we started this podcast, we were not really Ezra fans because he just didn't seem to grow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like Ahsoka, though.
Mm-hmm. That's true. There's a lot of parallels between them two. I didn't realize it until really the second half of the season, where their stories are extremely similar.
I loved her line, and that kind of goes along with that. It's like, you couldn't save your master, and I couldn't save mine. I was like, oh, that's going to be quoted everywhere, and it makes me sad.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's going to be a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's ruin everybody's day when you wear it.
There you go. Yeah. When we finally come to visit you, that'll be the shirt I wear next season.
Oh no!
It's like, oh, get out. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what did you guys think about where everybody ended up?
Well, I mean,
starting with, I guess we'll say, with Zeb.
Well, Zeb, through the whole thing, he's gone nuts. He's got nothing to lose. He's just, and he does the Chewie maneuver where, like the Jedi in their plans, let's lock up the big guy, and then he's not really locked up, and we're just going to launch him at people. And he does. He just, and then,
I love that he went straight up, like, tackled Rook.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'll do it.
Yeah, it's my turn. And, Rook, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's like, he's going to be something that's going to be served down here in Louisiana. It's like fried alligator.
Oh, no.
He didn't die, and died and didn't die. Yeah. Got thrown off cliffs and so many times. And
I was like, just die. And then Zeb's like, you might want to call back. And then you hear, like, the zapping. It's like, don't worry about calling back.
Serious? You're going to see him on the menu?
We're all like, oh.
That's a delicacy down here.
He's gone.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I will say that whole sequence, every time a gun was fired, I was like, because I was afraid who it's going to hit. I'm like, which one is it going to be?
As soon as it started hitting, exactly. As soon as it started actually hitting people, all of a sudden I was like, oh, this isn't good. I was very nervous.
I liked how they brought back, is it Ketsu? Her name?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Ketsu, yeah.
And I like that she had the rebel thing on her shoulder and everything, like full-fledged rebellion now.
That was from Forces of Destiny where she got that, and then...
I like how everything's tying in now. Like, to crazy degrees. Yeah, I remember that short, and I was like, it's about time.
It was about time one of them, meant something, so... But, I mean, they were fine. They're fun to watch. I'm not saying that. I'm not against them. But at the same time, it's like, okay, let's see some payoff or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I thought that it was cool that they blew up a lot of people. Man, I know I should. It's the Empire. You should just get over a whole bunch of people being blown to smithereens, but whatever. But the people start fighting back, and that came back to me. Rebellions are built on hope. They got hope when everything fireworked, and they decided they could hold their own planet.
Yep.
I like that too. I like how that whole sequence reminded me a lot of End of Return of the Jedi too, with the shots of the street and people celebrating, and I was like, oh, I'm getting some nostalgia feelings here. It really felt like it belonged in that era.
It did. And then when we see Sabine again and we see the ships coming over, it's like it calls back to the very first little movie intro where Ezra and and you're like, oh crap, they're back. No, they're not. And I love her hair, so what can I say?
It was funny, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, let the Sabine cosplayers start right now.
Her armor
and he knows
so
that too.
Killer though. Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes,
He's fully aware of it too. Because he was like, oh yeah, like I'll see people and they're like, I just finished my kit, it looks amazing. He'll be like, and change the costume.
Sabine,
He's a
Did you guys
total
notice
troll.
the Purgil? Did y'all notice the Purgil on her shoulder?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I had noticed that when she had the Convor after season 2, and I'm like, that's for Ahsoka, and no one can convince me otherwise. So I like how she'll try to do tributes like that.
so there's the big one.
Definitely.
The babes. Seth was like, but
So excited.
when? When? I'm like, well, there were a few times that, Kanan kind of snuck into the cockpit and you didn't know where he'd been. And,
That's I saw a post today where someone was talking about it in one of the previous episodes. Like Ezra wakes up in the middle of the night and goes to Kanan's, and he's gone, and he appears in the doorway coming from the cockpit, and I was like, wait, no. Yeah, and what was great is that whole epilogue was a secret from the cast too. Only Tia Sakar knew.
Wow.
So like,
cool.
oh shoot, what's her name? The lady who plays Hera, blanking on her name. Vanessa.
Yeah, Vanessa Marshall.
Marshall. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she was sitting there and she was like, so Dave. And then like Tia was joking, he's like, yeah, congrats, the baby shower will be next week, and blah.
That's awesome.
I
was excited about it. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, my kid was
So
like,
everybody was
she wears
surprised.
makeup now. And I'm like, that's not the only change. Just wait.
Yeah, and I'm like, someone's been asking me, it's like, when do they have time to do this? I'm like, don't ask me. Someone on the internet's going to do that math and figure out when exactly.
There's a lot of time
Exactly.
between galaxy. I mean,
Like, someone's going to figure out the timeline, and, that sounds like a lot of work I don't really want to do, so.
it's edited together.
Definitely.
So.
I had someone point out, too, on if you go back and watch, it kind of looks like on his left hip, there's something. I can't tell if it's part of the chair or the butt of a lightsaber hilt. So I'll have to go back and keep watching.
Father. Well, he's like his father. So.
Mm-hmm.
I assumed he was force sensitive.
Yeah.
I kind of assumed too.
Well, and his name also is a callback to Legends as well.
Yeah.
Jason Solo.
Jason Solo.
So obviously he's not a Solo,
he doesn't go wacko. That would be awkward.
Well, Hera's got a good head on her shoulders, so I think you'll be fine.
So did Leia.
True.
Twice.
Moving on.
Twice for Leia. Poor Leia. She can't get it together in Legends or in canon. Her poor kids.
Oh my goodness. So what did you guys think about Zeb and Callus's end?
I love Callus's end. I knew that Zeb would probably go back to his home planet, but I'm glad that Callus went with him and knew that he didn't commit genocide. Even though he
I thought that was cool.
Watching it, though, of course, knowing the nature of the internet, I was like, oh, let the shipping and the fanfics begin. Not that the shipping had already, that was already a thing. But I'm like, it just got taken up to, so many years. And then even with Steve Bloom, I'm like, blanking on all these names now.
Yes.
He was talking to Dave, and he's like, that is the greatest gift you have ever given me, is to be able to go out with Hot Callus.
That's amazing.
Because Filoni's sitting there the whole time like, oh, why did I do that? It was great. Someone actually posted the Q&A to the finale session, so I can forward that to you guys, and we can share it with people, because now it's spoiler free. But it's cool. Great to hear some of the comments and insights, for sure.
That is cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I'd love to hear that. Yeah, definitely. I will share abound.
Yeah,
absolutely. So cool. I'm trying to think. So we got Hera, we got Zeb. Did we really go into Sabine's end? I know we talked about her new armor and her new look, but
I think
her
it's cool that they're going to be
traveling
older
companion?
in the next series, significantly older, and it won't be so awkward for and teenagey love thing. Maybe they're maybe it's just going to be a really good friendship. But they did kind of build a base there, so you never know.
Oh, Sabine and Ezra. And again, this recon episode was amazing. Filoni did say that there's no romantic thing between them. They're just like friends who support each other. But if that reunion comes, maybe they'll change his
you
mind.
never know. Like I said, they were really young, and I always thought it was really awkward because even if they got together, you don't want to stick with your teenage crush.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like he's always hesitant to. He didn't want to give Ahsoka a boyfriend,
right?
Obviously, and then like he was denying her and Kana for like the longest time. So
too long.
Yeah, and then he was just like, you know what? Have it.
Now let's give
it all.
Can you imagine a boyfriend for Ahsoka though? Like that guy would be through everything. Like that would have been the shortest relationship ever.
That's why I wanted to see season 7 and 8, because she had a boyfriend for a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I would have loved to see how that played out, because that would have been hilarious.
But you died. No, I'm just
Yeah. That would be like a Leia boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for the Sabine and Ahsoka adventure going forward. I really hope we get to see that in some capacity.
I think
I wonder if it'll play out in Thrawn Alliances.
Oh, I wonder. I'm gonna have to read that. I'm so behind on the novels. It's bad. But now that the show's over,
well, that one hasn't come out yet. So.
Yes, it's soon though, right?
July.
Yes, soon. July? I think soon. July.
But yeah, I had so many Sabines message me, and they were like, "Team up."
Yes, team up.
Like, you're making the costume, right? And I'm like, I mean, I'm trying.
Space
I'm trying to find more references, but I have a suspicion we're not going to get any more on purpose, because we might get something down the road. So they're all
exactly.
Makes it frustrating. I need reference images, people.
Right. It's like, look, I just want to do this. Come on. But no, immediately when I saw the new look for Ahsoka, I was like, McKenna's already on it.
When I saw that, I was like, I could easily fake this and do a little photoshopping. It would be like amusing to post. And I thought about that like Friday evening, and I was like, yeah, no, like it's fine. And then Monday, as it was airing and people were sending me their reactions, I was like, no, I gotta do it. So I threw on like a turtleneck and the headpiece and like the cloak I had brought from just my normal Jedi, and I had like a wooden dowel that my headpiece is sitting on, and I'm like in the mirror doing like stuff. I'll just
That's amazing.
Hilariously bad.
Oh, I would love to see those.
It's awful. So luckily the Photoshop kind of did it, and then I added little filters to kind of make it look more animation-y, but I was like, I just wanted to throw that up there and just be like, I'm excited to see what comes next. And again, like, I understand how it could be seen as a spoiler, but it's like, for what it was in the episode, a few seconds, it really doesn't answer any questions anyone might have had. They already knew she was alive. We just know that she appears on screen.
You just get a costume
that's really all we know. Yeah. Sort of, because the belt looks the same. I'm figuring it out. I'm going to do it.
We'll be waiting on it.
Yeah.
So cool. So was there anything else that we wanted to cover that happened in those episodes that I may have gone over or missed or anything?
Through all of my notes. I've marked them all off.
There's so much. There's so much.
Yeah. Well, cool. So where do you guys think the next series is going to take us? I've heard rumors. So,
I've heard things.
Yes. Whispers.
Yeah.
Whispers in the dark.
Yes. I've heard whispers of copyrights by Disney being filed for names and such, and like, Filoni said he's got to make a living, so he's not done.
Oh, of course.
And the post he made on Facebook was something like on to the next, and I was like, okay.
I've heard a lot of Star Wars Resistance seems to be flying around.
That would follow the naming convention
in the sequel trilogy. Yeah.
Like Star Wars The Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, Star Wars Resistance.
Yeah. So that I think I'd be down with that, especially if it was immediately following Return of the Jedi or shortly after, maybe even going through like the Aftermath novels or something around there, and actually getting to see Snoke's rise to power, been where things went wrong. Because things obviously went drastically wrong. And things like that. Even the establishment of the new Jedi Order through Luke and everything. So it's going to be really interesting to see.
And how Ahsoka and Ezra fit into that.
Exactly. Because you know that he's got to be found soon, you would think. Because, I mean, like Heather was saying, I mean, like, the windows are busted out. Like, he's not going to survive long if they don't have a way to survive in hyperspace.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Cause, like, obviously enough time passed that Hera's kid's, like, probably, like, what, 4 or 5? Like, it's been a while, so how long has he been hanging out on this derelict ship with Thrawn and the space whales?
Right. They've just come to an understanding now.
He was shot, too, so it's like he probably needs medical attention.
Yeah, and, there's a lot of factors in that. So that would be definitely interesting to see. Exactly. Yeah, they're both alive. I really want to see how much of that we're going to get in Thrawn Alliances, because, I mean, it's got to have something for that in order for it to pick up. And he's with Vader in this, too, which could be bad news for Ezra. So, yeah.
I want to know if, after Sidious saw Ahsoka and Ezra, because he said Ahsoka's name, full name, which Filoni geeked out about, of course, because he's like, you know, McDermott saying my character, like, what is happening here? But did he ever tell Vader?
There you go.
Oh, hey, your Padawan's still alive and being a pain in my butt.
But didn't Vader see Ahsoka snatched out of a portal? I mean,
he fell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he fell.
He fell right before.
So he may or may not have seen her. So, yeah. Because as he was falling, he was going to hit her, and then that's when she got pulled out. So, yeah. So it could be one of those close call kind of things.
It was one of those, like, he went down and she went out at, like, the same time.
Right.
So
it could have just been a lucky miss or a lot of other things. So, yeah, he may think that she is dead. Don't know.
Yeah.
That could be
I
interesting
think
to see,
he knew he would have died if she didn't fall. Because he was pretty messed up after that fight. I still say, I think I've mentioned to you guys, that my headcanon is in Rogue One, he's in the Bacta tank because of that fight.
Ooh, I would love that.
Right?
Make it canon. Please
the timing
make it canon.
works. Right?
It does. You're right.
And like,
it definitely does.
You know, who knows how long he hangs out in Bacta tanks, but I feel like that'd be a good reason. You slashed up your face when you were limping out of that temple, so...
Well, and then on top of that, we don't see him in a Bacta tank, I don't think, in the original trilogy at all. The only other time we see him without a mask...
Spinny chair.
Yeah, the spinny chair and the big black gold globe thing, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. But maybe it was more intensive reconstructive space medicine.
Which would be really, really cool. Yeah. I'm definitely down with that. All right, guys. So you guys actually sent in some, left some comments for us and some questions and things like that. Mostly comments, I think. But we put out on there for Instagram and Facebook to hear from you and everything. And we want to read some of those. So first off, we had our first comment at all was from Fives_Productions on Instagram. All caps, it was awesome.
Agreed.
Yes. Which pretty much summed it up. Following that, Plo_cool, we'll just say Plo cool. Yes, he said, I was disappointed. To which he said, the story felt rushed, convoluted, anticlimactic. I've always had a hard time with Filoni's choice of always leaving stuff open-ended. I don't mind if it's done right, but I feel like he goes out of his way to leave things open-ended just for the sake of it. We'll see where it goes, but right now I'm underwhelmed. Yikes. What do you guys think about that?
Well, he didn't have a choice the first time, and the second time he's gearing up for another series, so that's my take.
He wants you wanting more, but I kind of wondered that too after seeing it on Friday. I was like, I don't know if people are going to like this. And so I was really surprised that from what I was hearing, most people really, really did like it. Because I can understand how it can be kind of convoluted and you're like, really? Space whales? But it's like, you know, it's Ezra. And he's got that Anakin-ness in him of like, hey, this is crazy, but it just might work.
Right.
And it worked.
I think
was it Rex that said, like, the crazier the plan when it comes to Jedi, like,
Yep.
it's probably going to work, just go with it. So,
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. And I think, like, everything he does, Filoni is very calculated. So if he has a reason for doing something, he's going to tell you why he did it. Eventually. He's just going to make you wait possibly a year or more to figure out what it was. So, but I definitely can see that, because it is a lot to process, and it wasn't what I think anyone was expecting. Kind of like with The Last Jedi. People had expectations, and, you do try to fit a lot of plot into not a lot of time, and there's a lot of characters, a lot of things to tie up. But I think given all that, I think they did a good job. Yeah.
Yes. So, and I agree with you on that, because I mean, like we said, I mean, he's had his time where, I mean, he wasn't able to finish the story, and now he gets to. And so with that, I honestly thought that it wrapped up pretty well. The Space Waltz thing, that kind of got me for a second, where I was kind of like, yeah, but because it's Ezra, it worked. Like, I really feel like that is the only reason that it worked.
Yeah.
Because he has that kind of link. He had that strange
building
thing.
up that connection. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't totally out of left field.
Yeah. So Plo Cool, thank you for leaving your comment for sure. Sorry that you didn't enjoy it, man. I hate that.
Watch.
Yes, give it another watch.
Maybe things will turn. Yeah.
Right. I'm definitely going to be watching it, like, I don't know, 20 million more times, just because, especially the World Between Worlds. That's my favorite one right now. But yeah. So our next one comes from Instagram as well. Best in Bricks. The ending of Thrawn. Yes, the ending of Thrawn pleased me, because I love that character, and it didn't confirm anything for him. Also, the surprise person at the end. Thank you for keeping spoilers out of the comments. He and I actually had a conversation about that, where he was talking about how frustrated he was about people doing that, so that's cool.
He's very good at just leaving social media for like 2 weeks before anything happens. He's like, nope,
yes.
I'm out, bye. So,
peace, guys.
For sure.
Yeah, so no, I definitely agree with that. We're excited to see where Thrawn goes, especially in Thrawn Alliances. So yeah, I think it's going to be really awesome. We'll pull one from Facebook. Go ahead and do that, and that'll be our last comment for now. This one I thought was really kind of cool. So Philip Burt on Facebook, he says, now that is the way to end the series. It had all the feels. I honestly thought this was better than TLJ.
I've heard that a lot too.
I like that a lot. Now, I don't want to go so far as to say that it's better than The Last Jedi, because, I mean, I've only got to see it a few times. Granted, with it coming out on DVD here soon, I mean, it's going to get worn out. But I'll reserve judgment for that now, but it was very satisfying, I thought. A very great end to the series. He actually went on to say that watching the whole series with my kids and seeing the spark of wonder in their eyes, it captured for them what it was like when I watched the original movies. It was exactly what Star Wars should be. That touched me. Because that's the coolest thing about being... Yeah, that's the coolest thing about being a Star Wars fan, is that new generation. Getting to see the little kids going, oh my gosh, Vader is Luke's dad? What? Or all these other kind of things. Like, even with the animated series, like, that is the most rewarding thing to me.
Yeah. And that was a big thing that came out with, all the new animated stuff in the new movies, and people were like, this isn't my Star Wars, and I'm like, well, it's not really yours anymore. Like, Star Wars is for everyone, but, like, the new content, it's going to be what the original trilogy was to you as a kid, like, but Rebels is going to be that for some of these kids. Like, the little kids that were at the screenings dressed up as Hera, and, there was a little girl that was dressed up as Kanan, and that was adorable, and Ahsoka's, and pilots, and just, I'm like, this is amazing, and, like, can you imagine being, like, a kid and seeing it at Lucafilm? I would just have lost it.
Right?
So,
yeah,
so
definitely.
I'm excited to see what those kids come up with one day. Maybe one of them will be Filoni's Padawan, like,
there you go.
To
that'd be so awesome.
I mean, if he's hiring for that position, like,
there you go.
I know a thing or two
that's
about
your position, I thought. I'm just teasing.
Working on it.
There you go.
Write the resume
So cool.
over.
No, definitely. Just like casually slide it in there.
Just like put one in the Yoda fountain's hand, so when he walks into work in the morning, it's just right there in a folder.
Somebody keeps leaving this. I don't know what's going on. But the resume, though. No, I'm just teasing. You'll be there one day. You'll be there one day. We're rooting for you. But yes, so yeah, guys. So thank you again for leaving your comments and everything on our Instagram and Facebook. We love chatting back and forth with you guys. Look out for some live shows coming up. And Heather, you have an announcement for our book club.
Yeah, Holocron is going to be Last Jedi next time.
Woo! Which will be soon.
Yeah. Anyway, we're letting you know so you can get the book if you want it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So join us.
I read it. The first sentence was like, wait, what?
Oh, I'm happy with the book.
Right? You should read it with us. Yeah, no, you had sent me the prologue or a little bit of the prologue.
Yeah,
and because I just got done telling you that it was the same.
Yeah, you told me how the same it was, and I'm like, I doubt that, but okay. And then I read the first sentence of like, yeah, it's the same. Click. Let's send that to Danny.
Yeah, so it's something. So I'm excited to get to reading it.
Just so you know.
Okay.
That was the prologue.
I'm excited about it.
The first chapter is different, also.
I'm down. So cool. So yeah, guys. So we'll be reading that in our Holocron book club. So definitely be looking out for that. Go ahead and get the book so that way you guys can read it with us, and it'll be exciting. So McKenna, I really want to thank you for coming on with us amidst all the technical difficulties and everything that we had. I appreciate you.
Always fun. I know we kept saying I'd come back, and I'm like, maybe we'll have Ahsoka news to talk about, and then, boy, did we get Ahsoka news to talk about.
Right?
Exactly. It's like you knew. No, I'm just teasing.
I'm just really
so cool. So, there you go. So McKenna, can you tell everybody where to find you?
Sure. On Instagram, you can find me at Call Me Snips. And then on Facebook, I believe I'm still under 9 Lives Cosplay. Awesome. Guys, and definitely check her out. She's got a lot of cool stuff, so you don't want to miss it. If you're not following her, what are you doing? I'm just teasing. But yeah, guys, you can follow us and find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Kessel Run Weekly, and our website, KesselRunWeekly.com. Look out for our new episodes every single week. Hopefully, you'll see some more new stuff coming up here soon. We got some stuff in the works. So yeah, guys, and so thank you for joining us. And until next time, my name is Danny.
I'm Heather.
And I'm McKenna. And may the Force be with you.